Welcome back, everybody, to the HeatWave Podcast, part of the Roundtable Sports Network. We're coming off a crazy night in the NBA, everybody. We are coming off a crazy night. My name is Anthony Aguirre, Miami Heat and Miami Hurricanes beat writer, joined by my co-host, Anthony Pasciolla, Philadelphia 76ers Roundtable publisher. AP, how are we doing, my man?
I'm doing great. It was a great night of basketball across the board. 76ers got a win, and I know you're feeling great.
We're coming off a great night. We are coming off a great historic night. Bam Adebayo goes off for 83 points, the second highest scoring game in NBA history, surpassing Kobe Bryant when he scored 81 in 2006 against Toronto. Just AP, what was going on your side of the world, my man?
I was at the Sixers game with some friends, and we hear that Bam has 30 in the first quarter, and we're like, hold on, like, okay, that happens sometimes. There's high scoring quarters out there, and then gets to halftime, and I want to say he had 51 at halftime. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, he had like 40 something.
40 something. And then he crosses that. I get a notification that he crosses the 50 threshold. And then that's when we knew it was legit because there was still plenty of time left in the game. And then the Sixers game ends, and man, he just kept going. And I just see free throws coming for Bam Adebayo, free throws coming for Bam Adebayo. It felt like I saw that notification 800 times last night. He ended up attempting 43 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Made 36. But what makes me the most excited about this performance is this tells me, in my opinion, that Wilt's record is breakable. I think it is.
It's
Because Bam
breakable.
shot 7 of 22 from 3. If you
Yes,
get a guy like Luka Doncic to have a heat check night, I think it's breakable.
it's breakable, but also let's keep in mind that Bam's 83, as well as Kobe's 81, they're on film. I'm just saying they're on film. We still have yet to find Wilt, and we're at a time in the world where technology is so advanced. So I'm just saying there's a good chance that Bam is the highest scorer in the NBA. Just saying, but
That's crazy to think about. That is
it is crazy. But AP, Bam was drafted not at all for his scoring. Out of
no.
Kentucky, that guy was a lob threat and a great defender. The defense has translated over to the NBA, but the scoring developed year after year. I remember there was a point for Heat fans when it was frustrating to watch Bam even take a jump shot
Mhm.
because it was not in his arsenal. Now he's a mid-range killer. And even these last couple of years, he's attempting more threes. Just let's talk about his development as a scorer. Just being able to go to the basket at will against Washington. They did not have Anthony Davis. They did not have Trae Young. Regardless, I mean, that doesn't change the outcome like that much.
Sure.
But Bam, he was getting triple teamed in the fourth quarter. Triple team. That means three Washington Wizard defenders made an effort for him not to get the ball. And in doing so, they fouled him in the process, making 36 out of 43. Both are the highest in NBA history. And people want to talk about the ethics of hoop. I mean, what are you gonna do when you're getting fouled a lot in the fourth quarter? I mean, they're just fouling him.
Yeah, I actually used to compare Bam to Draymond Green because he was getting to a point where he was scoring the ball so little and playmaking so much more that he looked like Draymond Green to me.
Mm.
And I think that was last season or the season before that I really saw it that way. And I will never say that again about him after this performance. I mean, the way he was just getting to the basket at will, like you said,
Mhm.
and just foul after foul after foul after foul. And credit to him for making that many free throws. A lot of big men in the NBA wouldn't hit at that high of a percentage, and he did. So, I mean, and he hit 7 threes, like you talked about, the development of his shot from the outside. I mean, coming out of Kentucky, that felt non-existent, dare I say? Like, it didn't feel like that was ever going to be part of his game, and the way he's developed it over the past 3 seasons, I would say, has been incredible to watch.
Let's keep in mind This is a game that there was no Norman Powell, no Andrew Wiggins, no Tyler Hero, neither Jovic, and neither Kel'el Ware. Bam was out there with primarily a supporting cast of Simone Fontecchio, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Davion Mitchell, really good players, but they give you a good boost, but sometimes not what you need necessarily. Usually a team like the Heat, they need their full supporting cast to really take off the way they want to, and then Bam just decided, nah, I got this. So to see Bam just develop so much throughout the years, it's a great sight to see. And I have a lot of friends who work at the Casella Center. I used to work there, and they got to witness history. I know they're geeking about it. Now, there is one thing I hold against Bam, and it's pretty fair, I would say. Can he lead you through a playoff series? We know he can lead you in a playoff game, but we have yet to see Bam take control of a series. Now, mainly is because of we know Jimmy Butler was number one, and even in his earlier years, it was guys like Dwayne Wade and Hassan Whiteside. Crazy to say that now, but those were guys ahead of him at the time. This is even last season, it was Tyler Hero who was the first option. This is
Right.
the first season we're seeing Bam as the number one option, the face of the franchise. And the only thing I hold against him is he has yet to really take control of a playoff series and lead you to a win. Because we've seen stars elevate their performance in those settings, but Bam hasn't done it yet. And granted, he's taking more responsibilities. Obviously, he's the anchor of the defense and playmaker, as you mentioned, but we have yet to see him take control of a full series and win. That's the only grudge I hold against Bam right now.
Yeah, and I truthfully, and it's going to sound crazy to say coming off the performance he just had, I don't think he's capable of doing so. I still don't see him as a 1A player in this league. Yeah, you can have a crazy game, but at the end of the day, to be a 1A option, guys average 30, and Bam just isn't that offensive engine. Defensively, like you said, he's their anchor, but I can't see him leading them through a playoff run like Jimmy did. Jimmy did twice actually, but I
Actually,
can't
three
see.
times.
Yeah, yeah. I can't see Bam doing that same thing. I just don't think he's the offensive engine that they need him to be for that to happen.
No, and that's the only thing I hold against Bam because even
Okay.
even in the past when I've held grudges against him, he's proven me wrong. He's
Mhm.
he's proven me wrong this year as a scorer. So he's been doing great in that area. And his three-point shooting is clearly not a fluke. It's translating now to a second year because he's getting the green light. And I love the fact that Bam takes responsibility as the face of the franchise. He understands that this is his team now, but that he still need to do better in terms of building around him because for guys like Norman Powell, for guys like Andrew Wiggins, are they going to stay for much longer? Also, with Tyler Hero, because you're constantly star shopping, you're constantly looking for a guy like Giannis to save your life. What happens to him? Does he leave at some point because he's tired of all the noise? You have to just learn. You got to figure out how to really properly build around him to find success. If Bam is going to be your number one, even though like you mentioned, you don't know if he can be that 1A. I personally don't think so either. And again, if it proves me wrong, I'll happily say I was wrong. But we have yet to see that. And so it's just again, also how do you build around Bam? Can you retain your core players? And also just again, what's the vision moving forward? Because you're still eyeing all these free agents and you're delaying the inevitable. So it's kind of hard to tell what's gonna happen in even 2 years.
Yeah, and I know we talked about the idea of should the Heat move on from Bam last
Yeah.
episode, and honestly, looking at it from Bam's perspective, I think he deserves better than to just waste his prime in Miami, as harsh as that sounds, because
Hmm.
this is a team that refuses to rebuild, and even if they did decide to, I don't think he's going to want to stick around for rebuild. I think he should go somewhere where he's the number 2 or the number 3 option, where he can contribute at the highest possible level for his style of play and compete for a championship.
Absolutely. Again, unless the Heat properly build around him, then we're gonna keep seeing this cycle. But regardless, still a historic night for Bam, and
Mhm.
congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to our next topic. The Heat are on a 6-game win streak, tied that's tied for the best in the league alongside Oklahoma City. Now, they've done this without Norman Powell, and Tyler Hero missed last night's game. You've talked about how you're not really confident in the combo.
Yes.
Also, in the last 6 games, they've beaten some teams that are not very convincing, but some that are. They beat in Washington, they beat Charlotte, they beat Brooklyn twice, but they also did beat Detroit, which is
Mhm.
convincing because they're on a great year. But is this sustainable? Can this production move on the rest of the year with a healthy roster, with Norman Powell and Tyler Hero together?
That remains my exact fear is the backcourt duo of Powell and Tyler Hero. Obviously, they're not going to overlap all the time, but when they do, that how is that going to work? Because they do so much similar stuff. And defensively, I don't like either of them.
Mhm.
Powell's a bit better than Hero. Hero as a defender is not what you want at all. But Hero's been playing very good basketball, and I think outside of Bam, he's been the biggest reason for this win streak. I mean, he scored 25 against Brooklyn, 33 against Charlotte, 25 against Brooklyn. I mean, just
Mhm.
a really good stretch of games from him, kind of saying like, "Hey, everybody, I still exist. I'm still a productive basketball player." But can the same be said when Norman Powell comes back? That's where
Mhm.
I'm concerned.
Yeah, we really have yet to see it. Those two barely
Mhm.
have any chemistry together, and Spo's not worried about it. I've asked him before how confident he is about that combo. He's very confident, he says, of course, as a head coach would. But like you mentioned, the defense is going to be a concern because, yeah, even though you could play Bam and Khalil at the same time, but those two are not really good defenders. They're not good in keeping players up front, especially Tyler. Like one of the things I fear with Tyler defensively is his size,
Mhm.
is because players can easily back him down, and obviously it depends on the matchup. But sometimes, and even Darius Garland admitted to it, they teams hunt down for Tyler on defense. And so you got to worry about that, and that's why I talk about also roster construction, because the same way that the Heat would surround defenders around Duncan Robinson, they got to do the same for Tyler. But like you
Yeah.
mentioned, he has been on a scoring tear. He's shown great offensive production when healthy. That's the
Mhm.
issue. He has not been healthy this year, and so you
True.
just wonder what goes on moving forward because in my opinion, even though it's probably not going to be what happens, he should come off the bench the rest of the year, and we'll see which lineup he fits best with. But clearly, he's going to be starting once again, which I disagree with. And I don't know. The production is there, but I'm just not convinced if that makes sense. I'm not confident in Tyler this year.
That's fair. I don't think we've seen enough of him to be convinced, in all honesty. I think Norm is the more proven guard of the two, which is why he should start and not Tyler, like you said, but that's just not how it's going to go, unfortunately. I think they would be better off with Tyler coming off the bench, and you really avoid the Norman Powell Tyler Hero overlap as much as you possibly can. But I think, like you said, if Spo is very confident in that duo, that's a problem to me.
Especially when it comes to the playoffs. Now, granted, the Heat are now the 6th seed. They get out of the play-in for now because
Mhm.
Orlando, Philadelphia, it's still a tight race between the
Yeah.
three. So any given night is a must win. But for the Heat to, let's say, keep their heads above water is a good accomplishment. But let's see if it's sustainable. They'll face Milwaukee on Thursday. They're not having a good year, but they just lost to them previously, and Kevin Porter Jr. went off for I believe a 30 bomb.
Mhm.
So it just goes to show that okay, they got some good pieces, but I don't know. And Giannis is back, so that changes the whole dynamic. Like AP, what should we expect of this game?
With Giannis in the mix, it becomes a lot more dangerous of a game. It kind of feels like a trap game to me,
Yeah.
uh, especially coming off such a dominant game from Bam. Like, it just kind of feels like one of those games. Is Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Ware going to play on Thursday? I think that's very important. I think they're both questionable as of now, at least according to what I'm looking at.
Hmm.
So, depending on who plays for Miami, I think they have a good chance, but it does feel a little bit like a trap to me.
It definitely does. It would be the most Heat thing to do. It just you go off on a crazy historic run one night, and the next thing you get blown out by 50.
Yep.
But
Sounds great.
it sounds like it, right? But for the Heat, like I mentioned, for a team like the Heat, a team like Orlando, a team like Philadelphia, every game is a must-win moving forward. And as I alluded to, the team's health plays a big factor because you can't rely on Bam to go for 80 another night. This team is built to play like a team because
Mhm.
there's really no 1A. There's no top dog like the way Jimmy was here, taking over a few games here and there. So it's going to be a big test. And again, the margin of error is extremely thin for all three teams. And we'll see how it goes moving forward. But just to close it off, AP, where does Bam's 83 rank all time?
Just among performances, oh man. I feel like it might still be behind Kobe. I think it might be number 3 because
Hmm.
of just how iconic the Kobe game was
Yeah.
and everything that goes into it with the legacy. I think it's the 3rd best single individual performance of all time, which is crazy to say because never did I think Bam Adebayo would have that title, but here we are.
Here we are. And to all the Laker fans whining and all the Twitter fans whining, you simply cannot rewrite history. So just go back to your closets and cry about it. But this is Anthony Aguirre with my co-host Anthony Pasciolla for the HeatWave Podcast, part of the Roundtable Sports Network. Make sure to check out all of our articles and join the community for free. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.